Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the matrix. Subscribe.
Give it! Give it some! Hey! Hey! What the hell? Hey! Give me this!
In 2007, scientists ran this experiment where they took normal kids, they gave them synthetic chemicals, and then they watched them get measurably more hyperactive. They then decided that these chemicals would be a perfect fit inside candies and sodas. There was this scientist called Howard Moskowitz. He ran thousands of tests to find the exact dose of industrial chemicals that would make a child crave more candy and never feel full. In food science, they call this the bliss point, and modern children are exposed to it constantly. And who do you think paid Moskowitz to do this research? The tobacco companies. And it did work. While big tobacco have owned these foods, researchers have found them to be up to 80% more addictive to children. They also ran actual studies on how to make a child annoy, beg and fight their parents for a specific product. In marketing, this is called the nag factor, and it is essentially a form of mind control designed to make kids bully their parents into buying these toxic foods. The stuff they're selling to kids nowadays is not food. It's engineered drugs, titanium dioxide, synthetic dyes, engineered sugar, and even worse. When it crosses into a child's brain through the blood-brain barrier, it rewires how that child behaves. It's why kids today can't sit still, why they melt down over nothing, why they won't listen to what you say. Companies are pretty good at hiding this stuff. The packages don't literally say made by a cigarette company and engineered to rewire your child's brain. It just says fun family-sized pack, which is exactly why I built my app ToxScan. You can scan any product before you give it to yourself or your kids. It shows you the synthetic dyes, the hidden hormone disruptors, the heavy metals, all the stuff the label is designed to hide from you. You can comment Tox below and I'll send you the app, or you can just search ToxScan on the App Store to try the app immediately.
Americans, our land has been taken over by foreigners. The 42 laws of Maya, so many people are dying because right now it is Judgment Day, the time of the apocalypse. The time of the apocalypse literally means the veil has been ripped off. So now we're seeing how we have been prisoners of war on our land for so long. And you, as an American, do you think you can go somewhere in Asia and get benefits? No. Do you think you can go somewhere in Africa and get grants and loans and benefits just because you're not there? No. They literally pay these people to come over here and be parasitic and literally drain us of our essence and our blood and tell us to work for a currency dollar system that has no motherfucking value, no motherfucking system. This is why it is important to overthrow this government and create our own. Like I said, if you're not in tune with spiritual laws, no matter what color you are, what you look like, you will not make it in this new world. And this is why you see a lot of people are burning and dying right now, because they don't have as hard as light as a feather. They're not abiding by spiritual laws. They think that these false ass government laws is what they're supposed to abide by. And this is why this whole system must collapse. Ashe Mami Wata, Ashe Mami Wata, Ashe Mami. Pay these foreigners to come over here and sell us poison. They sell us plastic fake hair that gives us cancer. They come to the corner stores, right? On every corner store in the hood with poison. They never even have fruits and vegetables. They come over here and they incentivize these people to poison us. These are our enemies. I literally had a dream about it higher self. So I'm letting you know, all these Mongoloids, $5 Indians who've been cosplaying to be indigenous from everywhere, they're indigenous from nowhere. They're actually parasitic, and they're here to drain us of our life force. They're here to drain the planet of its life force, and they cannot make it into the new world. Ashe segment, Ashe segment.
Oh yeah, they're pushing that baby agenda for a reason. They're running low on supplies. We already know what they was talking about in the Epstein files, and now they're just saying the quiet thing out loud. We need some babies. And it's not for what you think. It's not what you think. They said that this has been going on since 2006, but we know it's been before that. Yeah, let's go to an interesting clip.
Time in history, we have now some evidence, some clues that we can actually live forever. Okay, I'm going to show you two examples. The first one is a Japanese researcher named Yamanaka. What he did in 2006 was he took a virus and he loaded with 4 transcription factors, and he put it on an adult skin cell and was able to turn that skin cell all the way back to a stem cell state. If you can do that with one cell, then theoretically you can do that with every cell in your body to turn it back to an earlier state. So the second one is 20 years ago, took 2 mice and stitched them together like Siamese twins. So they would have one circulatory blood system, one old mouse and one young mouse. And the old mouse was biologically getting younger, and the young mouse is biologically getting older. Second experiment, they did not stitch them together, but they just did a plasma transfer. They just swapped the blood. And the same thing was happening. That means now you can rejuvenate an old mouse purely by function of the proteins coming from the blood of the young mouse. If you can rejuvenate an old mouse just by young blood, I'm going to take the earliest stem cells that you possibly find without any ethical issues and take the secretome or proteins coming off of it and putting on the oldest cells. And what we're hoping to do is to drive back our biological clock and make us younger.
You picking up what they putting down? Don't have no kids. Don't feed their need. Starve their asses. Okay? Replace mouse with human beings. Okay? Without any ethical issues. Why do you think they're no longer looking to abort fetuses? And it don't matter if it's a viable fetus or not. They want you to push that motherfucker to full term. They want the baby in the placenta. They want it all. Yeah, this is not something that's in a science fiction movie. This is not something that's in a horror film. This is something that's happening now live currently, 4K. That's something that's been going on actually. Yeah. So, I'm just going to leave that right there for you. Don't have no kids. Okay? Okay.
When you go down the aisle of a church, you say you're getting married. You know that aisle. That aisle, or if a church has a center aisle, that is the fallopian tube, the birth canal, right? And then when you get to the pulpit, that's the womb, the sanctum sanctorum, known as the Holy of Holies. Now the white boy switched this up. In marriage, he has the woman coming down the aisle, but the sperm, a woman doesn't come down the aisle. A woman is the womb. So in actuality, he's supposed to have the man coming down the aisle in marriage, because the man symbolizes the penis and the sperm travels up the fallopian tube, right? The birth canal. Not the woman traveling up, because the woman has a womb. How the hell she gonna need to travel up to her own womb? You see what I'm saying? So they switched this thing around. In actuality, the man is supposed to be led up that aisle, not the woman. You see, one other key thing we need to do when we have African weddings, we need to lead this thing up, lead the man up the aisle. You see what I'm saying? Not the woman.
Alcohol opens you up to negative spirits. Now let me explain. Remember that time you blacked out, you don't remember anything? Shoot, maybe you don't even know how you got home. Maybe you did some things you later regret. Maybe that wasn't even you. Did you ever stop and think about who was operating your vehicle if you weren't even conscious? So by now maybe you've heard of the etymology of the word alcohol, from the Arabic term al-ghul, or body-eating spirit. It's also the origin where we get the word ghul. Look, when you're intoxicated, you're opening up your soul essence. So look, we all know alcohol lowers your inhibitions, and a lot of people use it as a social lubricant because it allows them to be more confident. But in the same breath, it also leaves your etheric system more energetically open. Your auric defense is now on the low, and negative entities can and will take over. Why do you think we call certain alcohol spirits? And then we also have jinn, which is a jinn, or another Arabic word for a type of spirit that can manipulate humans. It's also where we get the word genie. Look, our bodies are spiritual vehicles, and if you're not operating that vehicle, something else can take you over. And that's exactly how people black out. That dark entity attached itself to you and took you out for a joyride. We've all seen it, where somebody gets mad, belligerent, angry, they start getting out of control, screaming, fighting. What do you think that is? That is literally a demonic possession. And we see it in alcoholics all the time, where the consumption of alcohol literally leads to the consumption of the human body and the consumption of the human spirit. Now, I wouldn't say alcohol in its original sense is evil, because it was originally used as rituals, rites, ceremonies, etc. But today, you should know that the alcohol industry is procured by some of the most elite Satanists like the Rothschild dynasty. We only see a small percentage of the physical spectrum, and there are multiple forces working behind the scenes, and just because you can't see them, doesn't mean they can't affect you. Wake up to the world around you and you realize that we live inside an ancient religious cult schooled in these black magic arts. Now you know the reason why they've got a liquor store on every corner.
That's when they came with the MK Ultra. They started changing the music.
What's MK Ultra?
MK Ultra is the government program operation. Their objective is to take over the mind of the population. And they use different type of mediums to control the mental. Music was one of the biggest ones, which is why back in the day, music was upbeat, uplifting. When MK Ultra came in, they changed the hertz. So now we talking about frequency, because everything is frequency. When you change the hertz of music, which is, it's the background noise that you hear in your music, which is why all of the music now kind of even sound like demonic.
I feel like they can have messages inside of the music, but they can tweak them so it kind of sounds like part of the melody, but it's going into your subconscious mind.
100%. And your subconscious mind is creating your reality. They're talking directly to your subconscious, so you're allowing yourself to be controlled, but you're being told what to project. And that's what we're trying to wipe clear here. And you have to be able to sit with yourself at the end of the night, unlearn everything that you did learn. That's why I come out here and I talk about the conspiracies and all the other shit. I don't really care. It matters because you have to understand that you were lied to.
MK Ultra was one of the most secret government programs in American history. Gottlieb believed that in order to find a way to implant a new mind into someone's brain, you first had to find a way to destroy the mind that was in there already.
Look at this thing, Andrew Dawson type videos of him saying something's wrong. No. That people are after him. He's drawing his username, James Franco, with a number beside it, which is James Franco 2319. Now, this is what's crazy. Is that an area code? 2319 is a code in Monsters, Inc. 2319! We have a 2319! Remember when a monster accidentally touches a child? Yeah. And then they come back into their area and like they have to put the extinguisher, they gotta decontaminate him, shave all his hair, everything, right? Okay. So people are saying that he's trying to expose something that has to do with monsters and kids. Oh. Why is this relevant? Why? The island. Actors that know different things that's going on with yes, you're right. Andrew Dawson, that whole thing, people were speculating he saw a real giant on that mountain. Okay. And the government tried to silence him, and sadly he passed away. James Franco, it's either he's actually warning, trying to say something out here, or this is all just to promote a movie, because he's low-key following a movie account, but we don't know if this movie is attached to
but I was gonna say, do we know the plot of that movie?
No, we don't. That's the thing.
That could be great marketing though, I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying here.
They give us processed food that destroys our health. Then when our health is destroyed, they give us toxic medicine. When they give us medication, that destroys our DNA. When your DNA is destroyed, you lose yourself. When you lose yourself, you become a sheep. When you're a sheep, you do what you're told and lose your independence. When you do what you're told, you don't ask any questions, you just comply. When you don't ask questions, they can do whatever they want and control everything. And that is why now our world is so corrupt, because this cycle has been on repeat for many generations. And now we're starting to see the effects of it, from our planet to the people on it. But always remember, everything starts off with you. You have to give consent in order for this system to work. If you don't control yourself and create your own reality, then somebody else definitely will. And the good news is, not everybody falls for this corrupt system. There's plenty of people like me and many others that broke out this corrupt system and paved their own way, because we all have the power to do so. Now, this may not be easy, but it gives you back control of your own life and health. And of course, our decisions now spills over to our future generations. So if you're tired of feeling powerless, it's time to reset and take control. And if you need help with this, family, just comment the word reset to get a link to my full reset protocol, which will help you do this step by step, from your mind all the way down to your health. Love y'all, family. Share this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let's get it.
The FBI made a raid on an adrenochrome clinic. Adrenochrome is the drug in the blood of young children, that once a young child gets whipped up into a frenzy of fear, they drain the blood off of these children. Well, 305 people were arrested, and the majority of the people arrested turned out to be FBI agents with dual citizenship to Israel. That's right. This is causing such a stink in Washington that Pete Hegseth is having to go on an emergency meeting to meet with Benjamin Netanyahu and the higher-ups in Israel to discuss what's going on. Because now the American citizens know that the people that are responsible for the child protective services in the United States are tied to this event. The lady that runs the Amber Alerts in the United States was found to be connected with Jeffrey Epstein and is on the Epstein list. So now not only are they using school pictures to choose your children from a selected database, and then they use Child Protective Services to target children and extract these children from the homes and take them to these places, these centers, where they drain the adrenochrome drug off of their blood and eventually kill them. This is what's happening in the United States, and the United States government is connected to it. The FBI and Israel are linked at the hip. This is one entity. It was a slip of fate that this arrest and bust happened because of the dual citizenship of the FBI agents that were working in and for this facility. Not only working in the facility, but the FBI agents with dual citizenship were collecting children from around the country. That's right. The FBI agents were collecting children, kidnapping and collecting children from around the country. I've been telling y'all that the government is involved with a lot of this human trafficking of children, and nobody listened. But God loves you, and I love you.
What up, everybody? It's Angel Dust. This is real.
That right there is a driver monitor camera. Those two red eyes, yep, they're tracking my eyes. But if that wasn't enough for you, there's another camera here watching, and then there's another one up top. They can see everything that you and all of your passengers do.
Every new car in the US will be required by law to surveil you beyond anything you've ever imagined. If you consent, you're going to be giving into the surveillance state. If you haven't figured out that we don't care about you yet, that we see you as cattle, you need to wake up, because that's exactly what you are. Join me today at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be talking about Bohemian Grove, where these decisions that you don't vote on are originally emanating from, and how you can stop it. Peace, blessings, and shine the fuck on.
What if I told you that everybody living now is younger than they telling them? What if I tell you that? And what if I told you that the fact that you think you become older is the fact when your body becomes older? What if I told you that? And what if I could prove that? What if I could show you different calendars that does different things? You had a turtle calendar before? It was 13 months. It was 13 months. Oh, the fact that you think you become older.
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. In the sphere. Come on.
Okay, hold on. I saw so much shit in the movie, The Wizard. So we all know the story to where like he's a facade, but he's giving the lion like the courage and the brain for the scarecrow and all that, right? For the scarecrow, he says, "Hey, okay, I need a brain, right?" And he's like, "Well, I'll give you a diploma so you can be smart." And he gives him the diploma, and he's all smart again, right? And it shows that once he gives the diploma, he says, "Oh, this is your diploma for X, Y, and Z, E Pluribus Unum." I'm like, hold on. Now, if people don't know what E Pluribus Unum means, it's on the back of your dollar. E Pluribus Unum, from one comes many. Sounds like a cult. From one comes many.
And they're also teaching you need a diploma to be smart.
Exactly. Right.
So there's that. Propaganda. I mean, that's early Hollywood propaganda.
Yeah. I find it interesting that, yes, he said that. And I'm like, wait, E Pluribus Unum, okay. Then he gives him a diploma. And like how you said, to be smart, you have to graduate and all this other stuff. So speaking of ancient Latin, doctor, does anybody know what that really means? Because when you get a degree, like a doctor or whatever, so doctor in Latin, docere, is actually the root word for docile, for document, indoctrinate. They're all related. So to become a doctor, get a degree, you're indoctrinated now.
And you're docile.
The movie's based on the Federal Reserve.
Oh, shit.
You guys know the real kind of undertone of Wizard of Oz, right?
It's based on the Federal Reserve.
Yes. Dorothy.
Dorothy!
She goes on the yellow brick road, right? Gold. Oz. What is Oz and gold? O-Z. Ounce. She's going to see the Wizard of Oz. Now, think about the characters. Cowardly Lion, okay?
Okay.
You have the Tin Man. Then you have Scarecrow. Now, when the Federal Reserve was established, private entity, it's a bank owned by other banks. Now, when they created this new system, they had to monetize us. When they give your name to you, they give you your name in all caps, which means you're an entity, which is a straw man.
Okay.
What is Scarecrow?
Straw man.
A straw man.
With a straw plan.
Think about Tin Man, TIN.
Tax identification number.
There you go.
Oh, shit.
There you go.
Shit.
In which your social security number has 9 numbers. What else has 9 numbers?
Bank account.
Your bank account. A QSIP number, which how you identify a stock number, also has 9 numbers. And the Red Shoe Club too. Dorothy, Red Shoes, the Red Shoe Club.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it gets deep.
Lab-grown meat is now FDA approved, and Tyson, the supplier of McDonald's, KFC, and Taco Bell, is funding the Israeli biotech making it, hoping the lab will be cheaper than a farm.
This pink slop is so chemical, it's already outlawed in 8 states. Every lab fillet starts as a single cell, extracted from a live animal, gene-edited to divide like a tumor, then dumped into a steel bioreactor, laced with growth hormones until it resembles a wet puck. Those leftovers are then medicated with antibiotics to stop the rot, cloned into billions of identical copies, dyed red until it looks and bleeds like flesh.
You're not supposed to ever be sick. Never. The body is a miraculous machine that has been created to take care of itself and heal itself if we don't interfere. You make yourself sick. And if the mind is powerful enough to make yourself sick, it's also powerful enough to heal you. First, we got to find out why. Why did you do this to yourself? What were you trying to tell yourself? Every disease is the body talking to you. Now, cancer, most of the cases we have found, is caused by suppressed anger. If the person could just talk about what was bothering them, but they don't. They hold it inside. We just talk about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it goes way back to childhood, but they hold it inside. So after a while, the anger begins to churn around, finally eat away at the organs and creates cancer. Get them to talk about it, and we figure out where it comes from.
But when you become ill, are you saying then that every illness you've had, you've brought on yourself?
Yeah, but I don't get sick.
What, because you're more balanced than most people?
No, because I know how it works. Once you figure it out, you don't get sick.
Okay.
One thing they told us, the side effect of doing what you love, what you're supposed to be doing, the side effect is perfect health.
When you're totally in tune with yourself.
In tune with what you're supposed to be doing, you don't get sick. In the method I use, we go right to the source of what it is. Why did you have this? What were you trying to tell yourself?
It's all about taking responsibility for yourself. That's your message right now.
And there's a lot of forgiveness in there, too.
Is that the same for the people we bring into our lives sometimes? If we've had someone that's very, very hurtful in our life and someone that's not treated us very well, whatever the circumstance,
well, you know, that's
attracted
karma that you are prepaying from other lifetimes. And you made contracts with these people to come into your life so you could work these things out.
But what kind of loving God would want you to sort of have pay back a karmic debt, though?
Why does God always get the blame for everything? God doesn't do it. We do it to ourselves.
But, okay...
you create the karma in the first place. God doesn't.
No external source judging us. We're judging ourselves.
We judge ourselves, and there's no harsher judge than you yourself.
So we are being our own God in that sense.
Yes.
In actions. Everything that happens in your life, you take responsibility for. That's your message.
Yes. And then forgive those that have hurt you, and that's getting rid of the old.
Sugar is one of the deadliest things you can eat. Every time you eat sugar, it does permanent damage to your body, making you older and sicker. How old and sick do you want to become?
Every time you eat sugar, your brain lights up like a Christmas tree. Sugar hijacks the exact same reward pathways as cocaine. When sugar hits your tongue, it triggers a massive dopamine release in your brain's pleasure center. Your brain remembers this feeling and starts craving more. The more sugar you consume, the more your brain needs to feel that same high. Food companies know this. That afternoon energy crash? That's withdrawal. Your brain is urgent, screaming for its next sugar fix. The average person consumes 17 teaspoons of sugar daily. Break the cycle before it breaks you.
Sugar also inflames the brain, slows learning, weakens memory. It makes it harder to focus, harder to control impulses. It does not just affect your body, it hijacks your mind. Every time you give in, you are training your brain to look for the fastest, easiest source of pleasure instead of real work and progress. You are teaching yourself to stay distracted, to stay weak, to stay stuck. It is quietly rewiring your brain to keep you hooked and keep you average.
You know, if you actually want to just take a scientific approach to analyzing the negative impacts of drugs, sugar would be at the top of the list. Sugar would be above any other drug. If you attribute the deaths to sugar versus any other drug, it dwarfs it. It's more nefarious, but it's highly addictive. If you do brain scans, which they've done, of the dopamine receptors in your brain with sugar versus opioids, it triggers the exact same parts of the brain.
I climbed into the MRI scanner to see how my brain would respond. The scanner detected increased blood rushing to certain regions of my brain. In these images, the yellow areas show that my reward region is responding to the sweet taste. Dopamine, a chemical that controls the brain's pleasure center, is being released, just as it would in response to drugs or alcohol.
Sugar in a baby's brain is called ADHD. Sugar in an adult's brain is called dementia and Alzheimer's. Sugar in your eyes is called glaucoma. Sugar in your teeth is called cavities. Sugar on your skin is called aging. Sugar in your sleep is called insomnia. Sugar in your blood is called diabetes. Excess sugar in your body is called cancer.
Researchers at Princeton University have been studying how rats change their eating behavior if they're allowed to drink sugar water.
In a recent study, 43 cocaine-addicted laboratory rats were given the choice of cocaine or sugar water over a 15-day period. 40 out of the 43 chose the sugar. In another study, rats on a sugar water diet exhibited telltale signs of addiction, binging, craving, and withdrawal when the sugar was taken away.
Have you ever noticed every time you go into a shop, there's music playing? You turn on your car, there is music playing. You go for food in a restaurant, there's music playing. There is music playing everywhere you go inside of this matrix. Now, the reason for that is not just for entertainment. They want so much mental activity in your mind so that you do not think critically. Because if there's music playing in a shop, you're in a semi-conscious state. And there's mental activity, meaning you won't really think about picking up certain things. You will spend more money more than likely. Now, music also manipulates how you think, how you feel, even how you move your body. It manipulates all 4 dimensions of human consciousness: your will, your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions. Music is not just music and entertainment, people. It is literally mind control. It can change and invoke emotions, invoke emotional states and mind states. So be careful what you listen to, because you become that state of consciousness that you listen to.
Japan might be in trouble financially, and it may trickle over down to the US. Let's get into it. And it all starts with this cryptic message that went crazy viral the other day on X by this Bank of Japan insider. He states the measures being prepared by the Bank of Japan will affect the lives of billions of people. To the people of the Western countries, I offer my deepest apologies. This is not a personal matter. May God's blessing be upon you. Yeah, that doesn't sound ominous at all. And I'm guessing he's referring to the downslope that Japan has been in. The Bank of Japan, their rates have hiked up to 1% since 1995. I mean, it's still much better than the US, but to their standards, this is catastrophic. They're dealing with a very weak yen and inflation that has been creeping up. And let's not forget that Japan is the biggest debt holder of the US, with treasuries amounting up over $1 trillion. But here's the major telltale sign, where Japan, in March alone, has sold over $47 billion in US treasuries. And if that's not enough, the Bank of Japan is actually exploring blockchain settlements where they're going to start to tokenize their deposits. So what we're looking at is an entire new system going from the old to the new, starting with this. The BIS has announced Project Agora, which is tokenization for reserves and cross-border payments. And the BIS is essentially a central bank for central banks globally. Remember that part where I said we're $40 trillion in debt, there's no way to get out of it, and other banks are going insolvent, and the entire system is flipping? Yeah, this guy might be right. Did a bigger breakdown on my YouTube, so make sure you check that out. You guys hit up my bio because I laid this entire thing out. I have a whole university breaking down all this stuff. But let me know what you guys think. What's going on with the global economy down below?